Okay, so I'm going to start by reading the meeting authorization information. Facilities Committee, I find that due to the state of the emergency declared by the governor as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, and in accordance with the governor's emergency order number 12 pursuant to Executive Order 2020-04, please note that there's no physical location to observe and listen contemporaneously to this meeting, which was authorized pursuant to the governor's emergency order. However, in accordance with RA, providing public access to the meeting by telephone with additional access possibilities by video or other electronic means. We are utilizing Zoom for this electronic meeting. All members of the Sanborn Regional School Board have the ability to communicate contemporaneously during this meeting through this platform, and the public has access to contemporaneously listen and, if necessary, participate in this meeting through dialing 646-558-8656. The meeting ID is 989-4992-127. Site address provided at the SAU17.net website. Just click on upcoming meeting links and you'll see the link there. B, by providing public notice of the necessary information we previously gave a meeting, including how to access the meeting using Zoom or telephonically. Instructions have also been provided on the website of the Sanborn Regional School District at www.sau17.net. Providing a mechanism for the public to alert the public body during the meeting if there are problems with access. 78-482-7394 or email helpdesk@sau17.net. D, adjourning the meeting if the public is unable to access the meeting. In the event the public is unable to access the meeting will be adjourned and rescheduled. Please note that all votes are taken during this meeting shall be done by roll call vote. Let's start the meeting by taking a roll call vote. When each member states their presence, whether there was anyone in the room with you during this meeting, which is required under the right to know law. Matt?
I'm Matt Angel. I'm at the SAU offices.
Matt, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can.
Larry? Yeah, thank
Yes.
you. Larry?
I'm at my office in my basement. There is nobody present but myself.
Jamie?
Jamie Fitzpatrick, I'm at my home office. Nobody present but myself.
Okay, Tom?
Oh, I'm on my back deck alone. Thank you.
Okay, and Jim Baker, I'm also in a room in my home and I'm alone. So let's review the minutes of Wednesday, May 6th. Don't be shy, guys. Motion to approve the minutes.
So moved. I didn't hear you. You cut out.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm cutting out?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So moved to accept the minutes.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Okay. And any discussion?
No.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. No discussion.
Any
We're
discussion?
good.
Okay.
No discussion.
All right.
No.
Revolving fund balances. I
Don't we have to vote on that?
I don't know, but we just have to look at them, but I don't see any
No,
changes.
I mean on the minutes.
Oh, yeah, we did vote on them.
We did.
No, we
No.
didn't.
Yeah, okay, well, let's vote. Okay. Tom put his thumb up. I thought we had all voted. And okay. All in
Jamie
favor?
Fitzpatrick, aye.
Larry,
Larry?
I.
Myself, aye.
There we go.
Okay, so they're
Formalities
done.
completed.
Thanks, Jamie. Okay. All right. Revolving fund balances, April 2020. So we've
Okay.
got 4 revolving funds. The total in the revolving funds is $680,724.45. We had a warrant article that passed an additional that will come out of this year's balance for a total of $805,724.45. And the lease to the middle school has been signed. That will bring in an extra $140,000 a year, minus some costs. And that will go into the, believe, is that correct, Matt?
It's going to go into the facility use revolving fund.
So starting the year, once we have that payment, we're looking at about $945,724 in reserve funds. Any discussion on the reserve funds?
I just wanted to ask Matt to verify your numbers, Jim, not because I don't trust you, but just because he's the business administrator.
Yep.
Yeah, you have a different way of doing it. So let me just verify it. But the first thing I want to point out to everybody is that a revolving fund is, we only have one revolving fund, and then we have a couple of capital reserve funds, and then one expendable trust. So legally, there are 3 different types of funds. Okay.
Right.
Let's see. It's nice being in my office. I'm trying to type this out. Oops, gotta turn that on though. Uh, 190. I have fat fingers doing this. Okay, I have $680,908 in those 4 funds.
680,900.
Yeah, $680,908, and that's just quick.
Okay. I started with 687.24
Okay,
based on the documents that.
double check it though.
So then, Jim, you added in the money from the lease from the SLC, and then you added in the money from the 2 warrant articles that were passed, and that's how I just wanted to clarify for
Yeah.
how you arrived
Yeah,
at
the
your number,
70
because it's really pretty right on.
Yeah, the 75,000 that went into the special education fund, and the 50,000 that went into the will go into the capital reserve fund. And Matt, I just have a question. The 25,000 that was added, that's added in there this year, and the 75,000, those are from the 2019 warrant articles. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yes. Okay, great.
Yep.
So in July or whenever the other money appears, that will be the increase of the additional 50.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after July 1, we can make a payment to the trustees for the 125,000, which is the 75, and 75 and 50,000 in respectively.
Yeah.
The 140,000 gets billed out in monthly installments. I didn't see that entirely until the end of the fiscal year.
Yes, right. Okay. Thank you.
So
Yeah.
when I add that in, I've got $945,908, but that would be as of June 30th of 2021.
One. Okay, great. Thanks for the clarification.
And without withdrawals.
Yes, right. That's about 200 more than what I came up with. $200 more.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Or at least I think that's pretty
Numbers.
good. Right? Pretty good
Yeah.
math.
Okay, so any further discussion, Jamie?
Just a question on the $1,500 rental building rental income. What was that from? In the facilities use revolving fund?
Oh, okay, that looks like a refund. We had to refund a whole bunch of building use we're going to occur in May and June.
Oh,
But it's a negative number. I would have thought that had been a revenue.
No, it's being refunded.
Yeah, it's a negative number.
It was a positive when we collected it.
For this report, then the revenues are reported as a positive number.
Okay, thank you.
anything else? Okay. Budget reports. On we've spent $3,508,729.03. We have $1,069,231.81 encumbered, and there's $402,605.50 remaining. For the general fund, there's $22,237,832.47 expended. There $1,273,757.39 encumbered, and there's $1,533,499.08 remaining. Any discussion on the budget reports?
No, those are pretty identical to what we'd last seen in the finance committee. So,
Okay. You all set, Larry?
I'm all set.
Okay. Budgeted were $35,025,655. The actual to date is $33,020,792, with 2 million. Yeah, is that? Yeah, 2,004,873 remaining. Okay. Discussion on the revenues.
No.
Okay. Middle school transition update.
Yeah, okay. I just want to give you guys a quick update as to where we are. Right now, for the middle school office at the high school, the only thing we're waiting on are just a couple of. The first one is a ballistic window for the receptionist, and then a countertop for the receptionist as well. The middle school has been moved from its location in Newton to the high school, and a lot of the classes have been moved around in the high school. But I want to say for the high school portion of this, we're about 40% moving all the rooms around. The construction for the bathrooms, the contract has been signed. I've spoken with the contractor, and we're going to be getting going on that soon. Let's see. The middle school in Newton is almost entirely empty. The portion that we're going to be leasing this summer is another tenant's going to be moving in shortly. They are we're almost ready to transition over. It's going to take us a couple more weeks to clean out our side of the building, their side of the building, and we're going to try to. Our goal is to have a broom swept by May 31st. However, we have a couple of other functions that are going to occur out of the building at the beginning of June. So that building is almost completely empty. It's amazing.
Fantastic.
a lot of work. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Some of the things.
Tell your people thanks.
Yeah, some of the things that are going to be coming up soon is I'm going to have to ask the school board for permission to dispose of surplus property, because I'm going to have quite a bit of it after this is all done. So in the next meeting or two, I'm going to be presenting photographs and a narrative towards that motive. Hopefully the next.
Oh, sorry. I forget we're on this thing.
Okay, any questions or discussion on that? Tom,
Uh,
Tom,
yeah, I apologize. I had to take a phone call from the chief of police for a moment. So I just wanted to say, I'm sorry I did that. I don't normally take a call when I'm on these, but wanted to make sure it wasn't an emergency.
Yeah.
So I did want to ask, I had to mute you for a second. Matt, did you talk about the phones or is that another agenda item?
No,
no,
the
that's
phone,
not on here.
that's not on here. That's for the school board.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure that I don't think we really need to discuss them anymore. I've talked to different members on the committee privately about their questions. I think we're good, but if you want to talk about it, I'm happy to.
I'm sorry. I heard two voices and then you both cut off.
I'm sorry. I said I'm good as long as it's on the agenda for tonight. I'm fine.
Anything on that? Can you hear me, guys?
And now, yep.
Jamie and Larry are both, oh, there's Larry. Were you able to hear the Tom, Larry?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Jamie, you've got your hand up. Is that?
No, I'm sorry.
You're all set? Okay. Playing with your pen. Okay.
I'm flying with the pen, yeah.
That's right.
And is more powerful than the sword, Jim. Don't forget.
Yeah, that's hopefully. When it is, when it's not, that's another matter.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're all set with that. Parking lot signage.
Yeah, okay, so I was hoping to have a little more for this particular meeting, but there's just so much going on. We're having difficulties trying to get signs built anyways for the school district. So we're not getting any responses from sign companies right now.
Uh-huh.
So basically what we've got to do is when we're doing paving areas of the school parking lot to reconfigure the parent loop, we need to put up signs at the entrances, educating parents as to where to go. We also need to put up quick signs of like the middle school entrances to this door and the high school entrances to that door and so on. So that's really all I've got right now for the parking lot signage. Definitely more to come on this, and this is going to be one of those must-haves to do to open up the school district at the for next fall. The middle school and the high school.
How are you finding your potential sign vendors?
We've been calling a lot of the major vendors out there, and the problem is some of them just don't call back. So we've done quite a few, like 2 of the major vendors, and then a lot of the little local ones. In the last summer, we were able to get a vendor to do
Matt,
it.
you're frozen.
Okay.
Oh, we can hear him.
No, we can hear him fine, Jim. Your internet connection's struggling right now.
Yeah. So
if you want to suggest any vendors, I would be glad to listen to it.
I don't have any in mind. I was just wondering. Larry, go ahead.
Yeah, Matt. Peter
Larry?
Roderick has
Boy, the internet's not.
We can hear Larry too.
Oh, you can hear Larry? Okay.
Yeah.
Jim, it's your internet.
I'm having the problem. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Peter has a friend who has a Salem sign company right here in town. They did it for me overnight.
Really?
So get a hold of him and see what he can find for you.
We've tried Salem.
What kind of signs were those, Larry?
Well, I've had 2 different types of signs done. Big ones and small ones. And
What kind of material? Were they metal signs or
they are metal or
synthetic?
they can be plastic, whichever you want.
Okay,
We also had some, they've done all kinds of signs. Yes.
So the 3 companies that
Okay.
I've been trying to get a hold of, the first one is Salem Signs.
I just lost you guys.
The second one is Jutras Signs, and the third one was New England Barricade.
You may not have anybody to help.
Because
Okay, I'm
a
back.
lot of the stop signs,
Yeah.
traffic signs, like all over the state. So okay, that's all I have for signage.
Okay.
Jim?
Yeah, Jamie, are you?
Just seeing as we can't get signs, so I thought I'd add some to it.
Okay.
I just wanted to remind folks of Don's comments about we really should have signs in the elementary schools also, because there'll be new parents coming into the different elementary schools, so that we want to make sure that we're providing them the signage and guidance too. I thought that was a good point when she made that the other day.
Thank you, Jamie. I agree.
All right. Paving areas of the high school.
Yeah. And that hasn't moved forward either. We only have one quote, and I think it's more appropriate to get more than one quote. I've reached out to a fellow business administrator who's having their parking lot paved right now to get their company, and I should have that relatively soon. This is something that I need to nail down pretty quickly. So this is where we're at right now.
Okay.
Okay. I did give you, however, the option so you can kind of see what we're looking at. So it's paving a little portion of an island, and then we're going to put down tar over we're going to seal the parking lot and
The existing parking, the whole entire parking areas, or?
not all the parking areas. The parking areas that are going to change. So,
Okay.
Okay, paving is going to be over that. Do you have the
Right, we saw that.
okay? Yeah, paving over the island. I'm also going to pave a portion over on the by the student parking, because they're parking out on a dirt area, and that would be paved over really quickly.
Okay. And then you're going to do some kind of seal coating somewhere else?
We're going to try to seal coat in the front of the building and some of the student parking areas. We may do the whole thing if it's cost effective, but I want to get pricing for that before I make a decision in that area.
Okay, great.
Oh, and striping does include putting in. We're going to assign parking spaces, so we're going to have a numbering system for the whole parking lot.
Will that be a separate part of the quote?
I think what's happening is that there's paving is one quote, and then the striping and seal coating is another quote.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay.
Yep. Anybody else on that? All right. Okay, converting room 126.
Yeah, right now the project is to the architect. I'm waiting for a quick plan back so that we can spec out all the pieces to the room. And so basically what's going to the architect is the room is too big. It's over 1,000 square feet, and actually to turn it into classroom space, we have to bring it down to 900 square feet. And to do that, I need to put in a storage area that to consume a portion of the classroom. And instead of the leading thought right now is, instead of putting a window in the room so that people can see outside, is to put in a double door with windows. And actually the double doors is probably a lesser cost item than putting in windows. And it also means that we can move in projects in and out of the room as the teachers see fit.
Okay, any discussion on this? Tom?
I did ask Mr. Stack to give me a detailed explanation of the use of the space and what the purpose it would serve, because I believe that any decision that we make budgeting or facilities wise should be linked to students. And so I asked him to give me the information, and what he wrote is that for 2020 to 2021 school year and probably beyond, the high school intends to use the space as a quote maker space for STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics My Way program. If you remember back to the board meeting when they came and presented their work, they shared the hydroponic tank and the large structure that they were working on that moved in many different directions. That's that program. As you can imagine, those items are large and difficult to store. And when Matt and I were talking, when we found out the cost of windows, because the windows have to be custom made to match the other windows, it's actually ironically less expensive to put in a double door. So if they're going to be making large items in that room, it's really logical to have the double door. The course allows students the opportunity to design and develop a cross-curricular project or set of projects in an area of interest through teacher-facilitated investigation. The course provides students with real-world relevant, rigorous opportunities where the learning is embedded in hands-on projects. The initial project will be teacher designed to familiarize students with the lab and the safety of the shop and lab, and then the reasonable parameters of future work. And then they'll have time to propose their own self-designed projects. After that, students work in small teams or individually to research project ideas, develop the final project, reflect on student-developed goals, showcase their work, and assess their learning collaboratively with the teacher. The learning will take place during student-directed research and development during the classroom and design phase, and the shop area or lab will be used for building, testing, and refining the actual projects. This whole thing was started as a teacher design initiative in the 2018-19 school year. 6 students took part in that year as an ELO, an extended learning opportunity. It was so successful that the following year it was added to the program of studies and 30 students enrolled. And the enrollment is expected to be similar for next year. The STEM My Way program, it really brings together science, technology, engineering, and math in a real hands-on and project-based nature. And I have to say that having watched the teacher work with kids myself, and you've met these kids and seen these projects, I was amazed at some of the things that they've done. It's really amazing. So certainly from an educational perspective, I support making this space a place in the building that can be utilized for student learning. And I pushed Mr. Stack this last year to figure out what to do with all the books that were in there. So just so that the public knows, what Mr. Stack did is they went through the books, ones that will never be used in the future. They handled through the policy for getting rid of materials. And then the ones that are going to be used in the future, they actually took unused school lockers and put all the books in there. So the books are still in the building, they're just in a different space. And now the room is completely open. But the problem is that for code purposes, the room's too big. And the reason why we need a door is for the egress. So there has to be a way of egress. And Matt, I don't know all the specifics of square footage and egress. I don't want to belabor the point from my point of view, but I wanted to share the educational benefit of using the space, because the kids are creating items that are so big, they are difficult to store in the building.
So this is an existing program.
Yes.
What space are they using now?
Classrooms, hallways, wherever they can store stuff. They even had that big thing that you saw in the cafeteria in the corner. There's no place in the building to house the whole thing because it's grown so much.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Well, that was my question also, is what we're doing today. My concern is, my major concern is, we seem to have a space in search of a function. So, it was originally going to be a conference room, and then it was going to be a classroom, and now it's going to be a makerspace room. It just seems that we're stretching to find a use for it.
That might be your perception. I don't know how that happened. I'll let Matt answer first, because I've known that it was for this purpose the whole time. My understanding was that the conference room was a suggestion because the square footage needed to be diminished for code. I'll let Matt answer that.
Yep, it's always been for the makerspace. It was my suggestion to put it in the conference room because we're also having a need for conference room space, and that was like a perfect idea. However, putting in a conference room throws in lighting issues. I also have to change out some of the sprinkler heads, and so basically turning it into a storage space for the makerspace area is really the least cost option.
They'll need it anyway with that program. They'll have to store things on the walls if there's no closet. But so the space was so big. The initial proposal was to make it the makerspace. That was my understanding, Jamie. I don't remember I wasn't a part of previous meetings, or if I was, I don't remember. But the plan has always been to make it a makerspace. What I saw when I walked in there was this massive room with books that weren't being used and makerspace stuff all over the building. So I said to Brian, what are we, why are we wasting this huge room when we've got all these projects all over the building?
Yeah. And the reason, go ahead, Jim. Sorry.
So is it going to become a storage room again, or is there going to be work done in the room?
There's going to be work done in the room. So about 900 square feet is going to be the makerspace classroom, and just over 100 square feet will be storage.
So it's okay as its current size, as long as it's just storage, but to be a classroom, it has to be 900 square feet.
That's correct.
Uh-huh.
900 square feet or less.
Okay.
Yeah, once we dug into it, we found that the codes wouldn't allow us to just put a window or a door in and just use it the way it is.
And this is a administrative code from the New Hampshire Department of Education.
So where is the actual classroom work conducted now?
Generally the classroom work happens in the teacher's classroom, and I think he's been doing some projects in the cafeteria when the cafeteria is not being used, but I would have to follow up with Brian to answer that. I don't want to put my name on that answer. I'm assuming based on my observations of where the items have been stored, not actually asking those questions.
So what'll happen to that classroom?
It's still his classroom. He's been running this out of his direct classroom.
So this will be an additional, like a workshop to the classroom, or plus storage?
Depends. I mean, if this program continues to grow the way it is, if we have this, it's that classic thing. He ran it 1 year this is a great question, Jim. I would want to know this too. So the answer isn't really black and white. The answer is today we have about 30 kids signed up for next year. But if we have a space to house this and it continues to grow the way it is, our hope is that it would be used every day, all day, that we'd have lots of kids sign up for this, because really it's a phenomenal way to learn about science and engineering. But we can't grow it without the space to grow it. So it's kind of in that weird zone where we really couldn't enroll any more students, even if we wanted to right now. But the hope would be that we would grow the program. I can't promise that it will, but I think that it will.
Any further discussion on this?
Yes, Jim, let me add something
Yeah.
else to this. Is one that I was going to help the teacher with his projects. He was actually working on an accelerometer and also on a particle accelerator. And his classroom is up in, I believe it was room 212, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
And that classroom was so full of projects that you could barely move around in it. So I think this is a real good move and a useful space for what he's doing. When I was in there, there was university students there. And then the following week, he was going to have a radiation specialist come in and talk to him about how to do the accelerometer and the accelerator.
Yeah,
So-
it sounds like a great program. And I do remember the presentation. It was in the library at a
Yes.
school board meeting, and there was some really interesting work going on. I'm just wondering if there's 30 students signed up last year and 30 signed up this year, what the need for additional, I guess I wouldn't even look at it as class space. I guess I would look at it as workspace.
Yeah, that's the whole
I think
point,
that
is
would
that
be ideal, because what he was telling me, they had to work in the hallways and down in the cafeteria to build some of the projects because classroom was just too small.
Uh-huh.
And I was really amazed at some of the stuff these kids were doing. It was unreal.
this
Matt?
is really, I mean, we've had
Tom, Matt's next.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, yeah.
I'm sorry. I just want to kind of describe the way the room is going to look. Basically, it's just going to be plain concrete floors. There's not going to be any special flooring. And we're taking out all the ceiling tiles so that nothing can get damaged in the ceiling. We're going to put in industrial shop lights and then reinforce the HVAC system. And that's it to the room. Okay. So if they spill something or gouge the floor, I'm not going to get upset about it.
And the wiring is already in there.
Yep. And if they do that to a regular classroom, then I'm going to get upset. So I'd rather have them a space that they can just go crazy and wreck the floor go at it.
I mean, it's a perfect example. Oh, sorry, I keep forgetting about this.
I know you're usually in charge, Tom.
No, I just keep forgetting to raise my hand.
Okay. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate that you acknowledge me on the floor.
You're most welcome, and we're very glad to have you here.
I will cede my minutes to Mr. No, I would never do that. No, so, another thing to think about, and Larry spoke about this, but Larry was going to run a rocket club this year at the school.
Can't do that in the room.
Exactly. So the rocket club will go, like, the materials would, this is the space that would exist in. I mean, I think, I don't want to oversell this, but I just want to clarify, because Jamie made a good point. Like, we're not running around for looking something to put in this room. There's been a plan, and I don't know how that got splayed out there or whatever, misexplained, but that's why I went and did the research and got the info, because people asked me questions.
I just want to clarify, Larry, you're not going to be storing explosives there, right?
No, the explosives are in my basement.
Okay. Hope your insurance
That's
agent
hilarious.
isn't listening. Jamie.
Yeah, so just to Tom's point, the reason that I understood it to be a conference room is the document that's included here says it's going to be a conference room. And
Okay, which document is that, Jamie?
that was what was presented on 1/6/2020, was that it was going to be a conference room.
That came from me.
Yeah,
Oh,
so, my perspective was, okay, it's a classroom, it's a conference room, it's a storage room, it's a maker room. That what led me to the question. On that request for a conference room, which would have a whole bunch of different set of amenities, the estimated cost was $30,000. What's the estimated cost of a maker room if you're not doing, nice flooring, stripping out the ceiling? What does that new number become?
Right. Well, basically, we're going to be taking out the window, and the window alone is $24,000. And so we're going to try to put in a regular door. My guess is the upper end of that door, this is a complete gut guess, and it could be close to $10,000, because commercial doors are very expensive. Okay. Then it's the cost of labor of taking out the ceiling tiles and then hardening the HVAC system. And to harden the HVAC system, we have to take out the soft ductwork and replace it with hard ductwork, and that's it.
So
2x4 walls for the storage area, and a door for the storage area, and that's it.
So you take out the window, you still have to cut open the opening for the door, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Tom.
Jim, can I just say that
Sure.
Jamie, thank you for clarifying. There was originally, now I understand, there was originally, when we first looked at the space, we thought, oh, we'll make this half a maker space, 900 square feet. And then we'll make a conference room for 100 square feet back in January. So you are correct. Thank you for clarifying. I just want to be clear for the public that Mr. Fitzpatrick is totally correct. We got rid of that idea once we found out how much it was going to cost to make a conference room. It was cost prohibitive. I think that was the disconnect. So then we said, well, we have to make the rooms smaller because of code. So therefore, we're going to make a storage area in the room, which is relatively inexpensive, for 3 walls, really, right?
Yes.
Or really 2 walls.
2 walls.
2 walls. 2 walls and a door. No big deal. We didn't have to worry about venting and lighting and 2 means of egress, because it's just a storage space. But the problem is, we wouldn't even create that storage space if we didn't have to due to code, right? That's not a choice that we have. We have to do that. We can't get an easement on that. So, or that's my understanding. I mean, Matt, if you want to look into some kind of an easement on that, I'm fine, but I don't think we can, because it's a state law, right?
It's a state administrative code.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Jamie.
And again, the only reason that we have to partition off that 100 square feet, which is 10 by 10, which be an awful small conference room, is to be able to have kids in there doing projects.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So
Jamie.
just to point out the obvious. So our state law says, geez, too big for the kids to have a space to work in. It needs to be smaller.
Unbelievable. Hey, you going to run for Senate or what? I'll back you.
God in heaven. Good idea.
He comes from a long line of political barons, I want you to know.
I have a feeling I'd like to hear that someday,
Yep.
but not now.
Okay. All right. So this is still in the planning stages.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Tabled items from the last meeting.
I don't want to take anything off. We-
Okay. But we're
There's too
done.
much going on right now. So this is after we have all the moves done, then I'm going to pivot back to this.
Okay. I just want to mention that when you open up those links, 3 of the quotes are the same.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's it. I guess we're done then, unless anybody has anything else. You guys all set?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Did my sound get better?
It
It
did.
did in the end, yeah.
Okay. I moved it
Look
to a
bad to begin with.
different USB port. So hopefully it's okay. All right. So we're going to adjourn. Thank you very much.